Hey everyone, I'm Steve Nash.
And I'm Felicia, and this is our review of Diver, Die.
Yes. Would you like me to
Um,
put it for you in crayon? Is that...
no, but
Because
explain
it
it to
sounds like
me.
you're speaking to people that have a learning disability. In Dive, Diver, Die, players play as divers scouring the ocean's depth to retrieve sunken treasures. In the box, you'll find a game board, 5 player tokens, 5 player depth tokens, 50 player cards marked 1 to 10, 50 events cards, 10 oxygenator cards number 1 to 10, 80 gold bullion of different value, 30 duration tokens, a starting player token, 2 wooden oxygen markers, 1 oxygen die, 2 10-sided treasured dice, and finally, a 6-sided die.
Here's how to set up the game. Place the gold bonus from that pile as written on the number jewel on the right side of the board at depths 4.5 and 6. Put one oxygen marker next to the oxygen track and the other one on 0 in it. Shuffle and place both the oxygenator cards and event cards face down next to the board, forming 2 piles. Put the player tokens for each player on the boat on the game board. Then give each player the tokens of their color, the player depth token and the 6 duration tokens, as well as the 10 player cards from 1 to 10. Randomly remove 2 player cards from each player and remove them from the game without looking at them. Then, when the first player has been chosen, give him the starting player token and the 2 10-sided dice. You're now ready to dive, diver.
The game lasts for 4 expeditions. Each expedition has 2 phases: the diving preparation phase and the diving phase. In the diving preparation phase, each player draws an event card. They may play these at any time, unless stated otherwise on the cards. Then each player chooses one player card and places it face down in a pile, shuffles it, and creates the shared oxygen pool. Then each player chooses another player card and places it face down in front of him. This card will be the maximum scavenge duration for that expedition. The starting player rolls the 2 10-sided dice. The number rolled is the amount of gold that can be found in the expedition. Always choose the larger denomination in front to form the double digits. Place that many gold forming the gold scavenger pool. Starting with the first player and proceed clockwise, each player chooses a depth and places their player depth token there. Finally, reveal the top oxygenator card and add this to the value of oxygen track. If any player chooses the 5 or 6 depths, reveal and add a second card to the track. Time to dive and hopefully not die.
In the diving phase, players will descend 1 depth each turn. Move the player token 1 depth lower and then roll the oxygen die, adjusting the result on the oxygen track. Once the players arrived at their chosen depth, they reveal their face down maximum scavenge duration card. That player then decides the actual duration they wish to scavenge, from 1 to their maximum card number chosen. Once decided, the player puts that many numbers of duration tokens on that card. He must stay and scavenge at the depth for that many turns. The difference between their actual duration and the maximum scavenge duration will be added to the oxygen track. Then the player picks up the bonus at that depth. All gold gathered in the expedition will be placed in front of the player in a temporary pile. For each duration term the player spends at that depth, he receives that many gold stated on the left-hand side from the oxygen die, adjusting it on the track. Once players don't have any more duration tokens on their card, they can begin surfacing. If a player reaches the surface, remember to still roll the oxygen die, and the oxygen marker didn't fall below 0. Then that player can now take the temporary gold pool and add to his personal supply. He earned it.
When going below 0 on the oxygen track, reveal, if any, the top card from the shared oxygen pool. Add that card number to the oxygen track and then discard the card in the discard pile. When all players either surfaced or ran out of air, give the first player token to the player with the least gold. He'll lead the next expedition. After 4 expeditions, the player with the most gold wins.
It's a cute little game with an innovative design of the oxygen die posing as a random end round. Your only real strategy to stay afloat depends on how greedy you are, how long you're willing to risk staying under, and how fast you get there, and what cards to use as your maximum duration, and which to use as shared oxygen pool. Then you're at luck's mercy with the oxygen die and event cards you or other players drew. But that didn't bother us. The game was a fresh outlook on other board games, and it deserves merit on innovating mechanics. We like the fact that it gave the option for advanced rules in the Jewel of Zakara scenario, and the variety of event cards made sure every game would be a unique experience. The components are of good quality, board was a little thin, yet solid and not flimsy, so that was good. The rulebook is an easy enough read, with highlighted sections for easy referral. Think it would be a fun family game with elements to please all. Dive, Dive or Die gets a 7 out of 10.